1800 hours, Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Farzana Khan. First, the headlines. Prime Minister says provision of relief to weaker segments of society, especially labour and daily wager class, is top priority of the government. At its meeting in Islamabad today, National Coordination Committee discussed situation arising in the wake of coronavirus. In a video message, Imran Khan has appealed to overseas Pakistanis to donate generously in PM Relief Fund for COVID-19 to cope with the global challenge of the pandemic. Foreign Minister says the next phase of repatriating overseas Pakistanis from abroad is beginning from tomorrow. Foreign Office today summoned Indian Charge d'Affaires and lodged strong protest over ceasefire violations by India along the line of control. In occupied Kashmir, Indian troops in their continued acts of state terrorism martyred 3 Kashmiris in Tumina, Chaukibal area of Kupwara district. U.S. peace envoy has welcomed the prisoners released by Afghan government and Taliban to pave the way for peace deal. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has said provision of relief to weaker segments of society, especially labour and daily wager class, is the top priority of the government. He was chairing a meeting in Islamabad today to review implementation of economic stimulus package announced by the government to support economic activities in the country in the wake of COVID-19 outbreak. The meeting was briefed that the government has announced a stimulus package of 1.2 trillion rupees to support various sectors in view of evolving situation due to the coronavirus. It was said that 23 billion rupees have immediately been released to National Disaster Management Authority for prevention of coronavirus, diagnosis and treatment of corona-affected people, whereas 30 billion rupees have been earmarked for the procurement of medical equipment and provision of facilities to the medical staff. The meeting was also informed that 15 billion rupees were allocated for rebate in taxes on food items and goods relating to health sector, and 10 billion of these have so far been spent. Prime Minister Imran Khan chaired the meeting of National Coordination Committee on COVID-19 in Islamabad today to discuss the situation arising in the wake of the coronavirus. The meeting reviewed progress in controlling the spread of COVID-19 in the country and discussed the strategy to minimize the impact of the challenge. In a video message, Imran Khan appealed to the overseas Pakistanis to donate generously in PM Relief Fund for COVID-19 to cope with the global challenge of coronavirus pandemic. He said the entire world is struggling against the corona pandemic, which led to the lockdown. He said the lockdown has adversely affected the world economy, including Pakistan. President Dr. Arif Alvi held consultative conference with all provincial governors and president of AJK and sought their cooperation and suggestions to meet the challenge of COVID-19 pandemic. All governors presented their respective views and briefed the president about the situation arising out of current pandemic. They appreciated the measures taken by the government against the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. The governors and AJK president expressed satisfaction over the level of cooperation in terms of medical equipment and financial assistance under the ESAS program being provided to provinces by the federal government. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says the next phase of repatriating overseas Pakistanis from abroad is beginning from tomorrow. Speaking at the meeting of the Special Committee of the Parliament on Coronavirus in Islamabad today, he said the stranded Pakistanis will be brought back through 9 special flights. He said 39,748 Pakistanis are currently waiting for their repatriation to their homeland. Shah Mahmood Qureshi said so far 1,640 Pakistanis have been repatriated through 12 special flights, and now efforts will be made to bring back more and more Pakistanis in the next flight operation starting from tomorrow. Speaker National Assembly Asad Kaisar says Parliament is playing its role in the wake of coronavirus outbreak in the country. He was addressing a news conference along with Minister for Religious Affairs Pir Nurul Haq Qadri and State Minister for Saffron Shahryar Khan Afridi in Islamabad today. He said Parliamentary Committee on Coronavirus is also actively working. Speaking on the occasion, Minister for Religious Affairs Pir Nurul Haq Qadri said elected representatives are playing their role in this challenging situation. He said it is inappropriate to link the spread of coronavirus with a specific religious group or sect. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. Economic Coordination Committee has allowed additional allocation of 200,000 metric tons of wheat worth 8.69 billion rupees to Utility Stores Corporation. The approval was granted in ECC meeting held in Islamabad today with Prime Minister's advisor on finance, Dr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, in the chair. The additional quantity of wheat will be allocated from PASCO's resources. The chair directed that the record of the USC and PASCO may be completely computerized so that it may ensure transparency and facilitate decision making. Foreign Office today summoned Indian Charge d'Affaires and lodged strong protest over ceasefire violations by India. Indian Charge d'Affaires Gaurav Ahluwalia was summoned by Director General South Asia Zahid Hafiz Chaudhry to register Pakistan's strong protest over the ceasefire violations by Indian occupation forces along the line of control in Dhudnial, Rakhchikri, Tirikot and Baro sectors yesterday, resulting in the shahadat of a child and serious injuries to 4 innocent civilians. Due to indiscriminate and unprovoked firing by the Indian forces, a 2-year-old child, Muhammad Hasib, embraced shahadat in Dhudnial sector. In occupied Kashmir, Indian troops, in their continued acts of state terrorism, have martyred 3 Kashmiris, including a child and a woman, while destroying dozens of structures in Tumina, Chaukibal area of Kupwara district. The Indian Army personnel attacked the village with the latest artillery and fired mortar shells indiscriminately. The action has created widespread panic in the area. In a statement in Srinagar, the APHC leader Mohammad Shafi Lone said that in view of the lack of coronavirus test facility in the occupied territory, the teams of World Health Organization should be given an access to Jammu and Kashmir. 2 Indian policemen were also killed and another critically injured in an attack in Kishtwar district today. The global coronavirus death toll has reached to 1,15,101 and nearly 18,64,666 people have been reported to be infected by the pandemic. Over 4,33,809 people have been recovered from the pandemic. The United States recorded more than 22,115 deaths since the outbreak began, with 5,60,433 patients. The death toll due to the COVID-19 in Britain has reached 10,612, making a daily increase of 787. The number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Britain has hit 84,279. Spain has started easing strict lockdown measures. Its daily death toll has fallen again. New Spanish data released today showed 517 people had died in the previous 24 hours as compared to 619 recorded yesterday. The U.S. peace envoy Zalmay Khalilzad has welcomed the prisoners released by both the Afghan government and Taliban. In a tweet, he said that both sides should accelerate efforts to meet targets of U.S.-Taliban agreement because potential for COVID-19 outbreaks in prison poses a real threat. The Afghan government has so far released 361 Taliban prisoners from Bagram prison. On the other side, the Taliban released 20 government prisoners. And now the weather report. Partly cloudy weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain and wind thunderstorm is expected in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pothohar region, Islamabad, Upper Punjab and Kashmir during evening and night. Dust-raising winds are expected in plain areas of the Punjab and Upper Sindh during this period. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.